So Jamie, you've got a pretty awesome truck there. You've been tagging along with us for the last few days through the Simpson and the Diamantina and all this area. What's the whole concept of the truck?
Well, it's been a concept of having a truck like that for a long time. Like I've wanted that sort of truck for probably a good 15 years, if not longer. But I wanted a truck that could carry, or a vehicle that could carry everything I wanted to take. So I can put the boat on top, I can put the quad on the back, I can fit the whole family in, and I take all the gear I need, and I can go for as long as I want and as remote as I like.
And the Australian Bushman, what's the whole concept with that?
Well, the Australian Bushman is a whole different world. It's getting out there, meeting the bushies of the bush, whether they're Indigenous or white fellas, whatever. But it's those guys that have got a real story, and you're not going to find them on the main streets. They don't talk much, so you've got to actually get their story and tell their story, because the things they've done, the places they've been, the things they've seen is just incredible.
Yeah, so many stories just waiting to be told, isn't it?
Oh yeah, endless.
And this is the machine that's going to take you to them, is it?
That's the one. It's been a long process of build, but it'll take me out to those remote areas and for as long as we need.
Awesome. And you happy to show us through it? Give us a quick look.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go and take a look.
Well, as you can see, I'm a bit scared of the dark, so we've got plenty of lights here. Now the guys from Hardcore, they come up with the lighting concept for me, and then All Terrain Warrior, well, they've built the bar, all the bar work on it, which they've done an absolutely incredible job. And housed in here is a 25,000 pound Sherpa winch, so I'm pretty good for pulling somebody out or pulling myself out if I get stuck, so we'll be pretty good like that. Up here I've got this antenna here is for the Selfie to amplify the telephone signal wherever it may be, and then I've got my normal UHF over here, so that picks that up. But on this bar work that goes up all the way around the whole roof and whatnot is two 200 watt solar panels up on the top there, so that's feeding back into the batteries that are up this way. And also I've got two diesel tanks on this side, another diesel tank on the other side, water tanks underneath, and then we've got this dual battery system here. So we've got a BTEC lithium 200 amp, we've got our DC to DC charger, which the solar feeds into here to feed into the battery, and the car charge goes through as well. We've got a 60 amp 240 volt charger for when we're on mains power to get beef back up if we need to, or if we're staying for a while, whatever it may be, we've got that. And then we've got a 2000 inverter, so that can charge all the gear, make everything work that we want to work on 240 volts, plus all your fusing and everything else there. So it's a great concept, and yeah, you can see it all there. Then around the back here, we've got, again, I've got another 25,000 pound Sherpa built into the back here. So if I need to pull myself out backwards, or again pull somebody else out, I can get them out that way, especially some of these big trucks you see out on the road or in the bush stuck. So we've got that. I've put a second fridge up on here with a spare wheel and whatnot. Now that's not always up there, so because I mean I'll put a quad up on the back here, and when the quad goes up, these things can't be here. The boat goes up on the LMAC loader up the top here. In my expedition box up the top there, I've got all the recovery straps and whatnot, so that's all up there. So we're pretty well covered. As you can see, I use these boxes a lot. This box here, I've got them marked. You can use the colour concept if you want, but on this one I've got dry food and tin food, so I know what's in there at any time, and that's what we just feed out of and take, which sits just inside here. And as you can see in there, I've got more shelving with, whether it's spare parts, screws, nuts and bolts. Up on the top there, I've got my maps, my books for whether it's recipes or bush tucker books or anything like that. The orange box up the other end is my first aid kit. Then on this side I actually have a bed. Now that only sleeps for one person, but that's for me when I'm on my own doing the trips. Now on this side, this is the kitchen area. So on the kitchen area, we've got our normal fridge inside here, we've got our pantry, we've got our top end camp kitchen. Well, this one is one of my favourites because it just houses everything. You can work off it, and it works an absolute treat. It even has the gas cooker inside here, so that works really well too. For when you're in them areas where you can't have a fire, and then when we've got the fire, well, of course, I've got the Aussie Campfire kitchen gear sitting in this box, and we made up this little shelf in here between these two tanks just to house that, so I can just easily get it up and down. I've got a petrol tank there, that's for the boat and for the quad, and of course the other diesel tank here. So that sort of sums it up a bit.
Awesome. And what's your favourite feature of the truck so far, the build?
Favourite feature? Well, there's many of them, but look, probably the best couple of conversions I've done on it would have to be the turbo, giving it that bit more oomph up and down hills, and the parabolic suspension. Because the ride when I first got the truck, I just bounced like mad. And All Terrain Warrior put in parabolic suspension in there, and oh, what a ride that is now, you know. And then, as well as that, I've got a front locker, because I've already got a limited slip, so it's sort of set up pretty well.
And I noticed you're running, what, 37s are they?
Yep.
And what sort of tyre pressures do you run in those?
So, we crossed the Simo, but leading out there, I've run 45 on the bitumen roads, dropped down to 35 on the dirt roads, and then floating through the desert, I was sitting around the 25 pound. And of course, when we had to play on Big Red, I went down as low as a 12 pound to get up that hard, steep one.
12 psi. And we saw a lot of people out there who were struggling to get up Big Red. What would be your one bit of advice to them?
Without a doubt, it's always about tyre pressure. Tyre pressure is the key every single time. You can watch them belt up there. They tell you that they're going to do it at 30 pound, and you just can shake your head, and it's always about that tyre pressure.
And I noticed that the artwork, Jamie, it looks pretty special.
Oh, it's very special. That's very special to me. That this is some artwork from Arnhem Land. This is Doppia. She's my adopted mother. She painted that on there, and that's the Seven Sisters, and that's meaning that they're going to travel with me on my journeys wherever I go. And this actual story that's on this side here is actually on the internet, on the Seven Sisters of Arnhem Land. They're healing ladies and they're elders up there, and it just goes through on their journey where they go to their to these stars here, which you can see up in the sky, and it just goes through the whole profile. It's really, really cool.
Awesome. All right, that's fantastic. Yeah, thanks very much for showing us through the truck.
No worries.